Okay, I'm prepared, and I can now interview some of the participants in 420 Day.
Okay.
Should marijuana...
What?
Should marijuana be a human right?
Really not hearing you.
Should marijuana be a human right?
Should iguanas be allowed in sight?
Correct.
I mean, I guess, are we talking about Iggy from the show Home Improvement, was it?
Yes, we are.
Would you ban drinking water?
Would I ban drinking water? No, I guess we need water, sir.
Even if fluoride was in it?
Menzoid having some fun on April 20th, 420. It's the day that pot advocates come out and smoke at once at 420 on April 20th and call for the legalization of marijuana. Well, it's part of our ongoing series, Oh Cannabis. You can find it on Sun Media websites in our Sun Plus section, and more on that later. We're talking about whether it is time for Canada to legalize marijuana. In my view, it's an idea whose time has not come. But Anthony Fury feels differently. He joins us now in studio. And Anthony, this is an idea that is constantly talked about. People are saying, it's time for a national debate. I don't remember a time in my adult life where there were not people debating this. But I guess it has new impetus given that some U.S. states have decided to decriminalize in some fashion or the other.
Yeah, I find it interesting that people think there should be a debate about maximizing our liberties. I mean, that's the purpose of government, to maximize our liberties. Marijuana is something that it became illegal when there were fear tactics about reefer madness during the 20s and the 30s and that it would rot your brain out. Look, the bottom line is there are many things out there that people think they're too dangerous for you. And I just put marijuana laws in the same category as nanny state laws, people wanting to tell you how you can live your life. Alcohol, it can be bad for you. It can be a gateway substance. It can ruin families. Same for gambling. It's the same argument people have against guns. And I just don't agree with any of those arguments. And I think marijuana is one of those things that, look, the extremes, they're definitely bad when people run around in gangs with machine guns and engage in trafficking. But at the same time, middle-class people should not be fined or put in prison for having a few grams of marijuana on them.
Well, I don't think that they actually are at this point.
Nah, you'd be surprised. Possession is the #1 highest amount of drug charges we have for marijuana, about 30,000 drug charges in 2011. We spend a lot of money, tons of $2 billion is what a Senate committee report actually came out with, that we waste on policing marijuana.
$2 billion, mostly talking about drug dealers, grow-ops, and so on. And grow-ops are a major problem. They are an insurance problem, they are a health problem, they are a fire problem. And these things have propped up all over the country in suburban neighborhoods with people taking over homes. I covered one where it was almost an entire subdivision. These things are set up with hydroponic lights. Yeah. The electrical is jerry-rigged, and all of a sudden you've got fire hazards everywhere. It involves organized crime. And I don't think legalizing it is going to change the fact that organized crime is involved.
Yeah, but organized crime is already illegal, and if marijuana is made legal, organized crime is still going to be illegal. All the bad things that gangsters and criminals do will still be illegal. But the fact that average people, if an old lady decides to grow 6 marijuana plants in her backyard for arthritis and does not have a medical marijuana license for whatever reason, in the clink, 2 years, no questions. And I don't think we should use extremes to violate just average people's liberties.
6 marijuana plants, having known people that have grown their own, 6 marijuana plants goes well beyond the personal use of anybody that I have ever met.
It's not up to us, though.
At that point, you are talking about someone that's growing for far beyond personal use. I mean,
should we say people shouldn't be able to buy 4 2-4s at the beer store? They should only be able to buy 1 or 2. Who are we to decide where the limit of these freedoms rest? Who knows what they want to do with the marijuana if a personal person
but what you're take the logical extension of what you're saying and apply it to anything, and you would actually advocate 0 laws. I get the enforcement argument. We have spent so much time and money on this, and we can't eradicate it. But we haven't eradicated theft. We haven't eradicated fraud. We haven't eradicated murder. All of these things have been illegal for a long time, from time immemorial. They're still with us and always will be. So just saying we can't stop people from doing it isn't a good enough argument.
No. I'm not saying we...
And I don't buy the idea that something that has the effect that this does on you should be just, well, whatever. No, we have restrictions in society. A conservative argument is not the same as a libertarian one, and you're making a libertarian argument that says maximum freedom at all times. That's not the society we live in. Otherwise, we can get rid of the Canada Health Act, which would make me happy. We could get rid of all kinds of government structures. But we have a different society than that, and you want to take it to an area that is only argued when it comes to pot and not to anything else. And that's part of the problem that a lot
I'd
of
argue it
Canadians
for
have.
other things. I'd argue it for a lot of other things.
You
and
might,
I don't
but there's
think
a
we
lot
can
of
argue from extremes. You can't use extremes. I still don't understand how average middle-class people, you get a phone call, you say, oh, your kid in college, we picked him up for possession, he's been fined. He's going to face 6 months in prison, which he can face if you've been found with a minimal amount of marijuana. And people go, that's outrageous. My kid's a good kid otherwise. Yeah, that's why this shouldn't be on the books.
And you're really hearing stories of kids that are being picked up and sent to jail for 6 months for having a joint or two on them.
It's a fact. 30,000 charges for minimal possession happen in this country. Other than trafficking, things like that.
We're talking fines at that point. People are not going to jail. We're not talking about Robert
Mitchum
in the 1930s in Hollywood going to jail. I think he went to a prison camp for a year or two over his possession. People are not going to jail for 6 months for having a couple of joints.
The law's on the books. The law's on the books, and there's a mandatory minimum now.
But going
well, then let's change it. That's what I'm arguing.
But going to full decriminalization, going to legalization, won't solve the societal problem.
But that doesn't get rid of regulation, which is what gambling still has. Alcohol, tobacco, they still have regulation on them. We can just keep it regulated so that average middle-class people don't need to be victimized.
Organized crime has not disappeared from the cigarette industry, and now we've got huge amounts of illegal smokes on. Who knows what's in them? There have been studies looking at what is in them. Because why? They said, okay, let's get rid of it. Let's just have the regulations on it. Tax the crap out of it, and it becomes a viable product for organized crime. I don't see what the solution that comes about from legalization or decriminalization. Well, let's ask the audience what they think. Who do you like, Anthony or myself? You know how to get a hold of us, byline@sunmedia.ca. And if you want to join in the debate, of course, check out Sun Plus. You can go to the Ottawa. I'll show the Ottawa Sun website once more. OttawaSun.com. Look for Sun Plus. Digital subscription. You get access to more than you get from the regular website. Worth the investment. Check it out.